working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
As most families begin their new reality with schools across the county shut down today, a warning from Governor Gavin Newsom about when they may reopen.
Plus, classes may be canceled, but lunch is not, where you can still get meals for your children at locations across Kern County.
And a warning from the FDA, stop overbuying, why the agency says it's unnecessary and what it's doing to replenish shelves as panicked shoppers stock up. This is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. Good morning, 5 a.m. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Once again this morning with complete coronavirus coverage here on Sunrise, practicing our social distancing and adding a new element to that this morning.
Yeah, you're going to start to see just a few changes here on the morning show and throughout all of our newscasts in the coming days, because we are trying to protect not only ourselves, but everyone else in our families and our friend circles as well. Because again, like you heard health officials yesterday talk about, it requires 100% of us to practice social distancing, to all be in this together in order for this to be effective.
All right, and on that note, we want to go to Southwest Bakersfield. We're checking in with Kevin Charette. He is live from his home this morning. This is where he'll be doing weather from here on out. Feeling fine, just, again, if we can, allowing people to work from home.
You're exactly right, Maddie. I am at my home. I've set up kind of a little weather station here. We're still going to be able to bring you an accurate forecast. I have all the tools necessary to look up all the weather data and put it all together like I would at the TV station. I'm going to do it at home. Again, practicing that distancing, doing my part, and of course, KGT on board and supporting this as we go into the future here until this is all said and done. So I want to give you a forecast this morning. It's a nice morning out there. We're going to see a little bit more sunshine for everybody today. Yesterday we saw a little bit of a shower even roll through right around 6:30 and right around 6 o'clock in the evening. Right now you can see the skies are clear around the area, and that's the way we'll keep it for today. You can see the temperatures will be starting out in the 40s and then rising into the upper 50s by this afternoon. Take a look at the mountain forecast, and you can see temperatures will start out in the lower 30s this morning, and then we'll be into the 40s as we progress into the afternoon. So another cool day up in the mountains, and we still have a slight chance of maybe a little bit of snow shower activity as we head into tomorrow. I'm going to have much more on that coming up in just a little bit. But for now, Maddie and Alex, we're going to send it back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. All right, let's take a look at your morning commute now and take you outside for the first time this morning. And let's show you how the commute looks at the 99 at Airport Drive. And as you can see, things are looking pretty good for the most part there. Again, we do have one traffic hazard being reported on the southbound lanes of the 5 just south of Grapevine Road. It looks like there's some debris in the roads. Other than that, it all looks pretty good across Kern County. We'll have another check of your morning commute coming up in about 15 minutes.
Well, just like that, Kern County has its first case of COVID-19. Here's what we know so far. The patient is a woman who was visiting from New York, but did not show symptoms when she first got here. Then she tested positive at a local facility.
This morning at 4 a.m., we were notified that a non-Kern County resident, while visiting Kern County, has tested positive for COVID-19.
Public Health is still trying to determine whether she got the virus in Kern County or while somewhere else. Officials determined the woman had direct contact with 5 people in a household here. None of those people show symptoms, but they have still been self-isolating. The woman is also being placed under quarantine at a home in Bakersfield.
The city of Shafter is the latest city in Kern to declare a state of emergency in response to the coronavirus. It joins Delano and Bakersfield in the decision. The declaration means all events scheduled at city parks and other city-owned facilities are canceled through at least April 14th. The Shafter Animal Shelter is closed to the public and pet adoptions suspended, and city buildings are closed to the public. You're encouraged to call for services and make payments online for water and other bills.
Kern joins a growing list of counties in the Central Valley reporting cases of COVID-19, even though public health does not consider this one to be a local case. Take a look at this map. Nearly every county around Kern has at least one reported case, with the exception of Inyo and Kings counties. Tulare County reports at least 4 cases, with one patient said to be in critical condition. In Los Angeles, meanwhile, 50 new cases were reported yesterday, bringing that total to 140. This map does not include the Bay Area, where about 7 million people are under mandatory shelter-in-place orders until April. As of last night, there were 358 cases of COVID-19 in the Bay Area.
Today could be the beginning of a 5-month summer break. Governor Gavin Newsom made bold statements about when your child might head back to school, and it might not be anytime soon. Nearly every student in the state is out of school because of COVID-19. Local school officials are hoping to start back on April 14th after spring break. But as with a lot going on right now, the situation is fluid. Yesterday, Newsom said students might not be back in the classrooms until next school year.
Don't anticipate schools are going to open up in a week. Please don't anticipate in a few weeks.
Newsom says daycare and child care centers should stay open to alleviate the pressure of child care needs facing people out of work. Well, this morning, schools in Kern County are closed, and that makes it difficult for many parents to provide a meal for their kids.
Yeah, as we know, so many parents and families rely on those school meals. As 17's Taylor Schaub reports, the Kern High School District offering free meals as parents prepare for this major change in their kids' lives. Taylor?
Good morning, Maddie and Alex. Today, Kern County will join those schools around the nation in a shutdown of in-person schooling, as many in our community know the effects that go well, and many in the community know the effects go well beyond the classroom. This morning, families from around Kern County will face a new reality. Kern's nearly 190,000 students will jump to online schooling in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus.
We delayed taking this action as long as possible because we serve a different population here in Kern County.
Now parents and children alike will have to adjust to prolonged homeschool and a lack of a lunch program.
73% of our children are eligible for free meals. 30% of the children in Kern County live in poverty. Very few of these children have access to the devices that would be needed for distance learning.
And with many dependent on free school lunches, one district has stepped up with a solution. The Kern High School District and the County Superintendent of Schools are offering free grab-and-go meals to students.
Meals will be packaged for the day so that parents and community members can come up and pick up the food.
KHSD says those meals can be found at all of their campuses Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students have to be in their car with a parent to receive the meal. The meals are offered to any child under 18, and if your child has special diet needs on file, you have to call the Nutrition Services office.
We recognize that when school's not in session the 5 days a week, students lose their ability to obtain a breakfast and a lunch.
A huge relief for many parents as they try to navigate this new normal. Many other districts in the county are also working on their own meal distribution programs, so be on the lookout for those in the coming days. In studio, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
And we should also mention that Boys and Girls Club just announced that they are going to be opening up meals to everyone 18 and under at 5 locations. You can find those on our website, kget.com. And I know I got a call from my son's school district last night saying each school site in the Greenfield Union School District was going to provide grab-and-go options as well. So I think most districts are going to follow a similar protocol. Just call your own district or
just
school.
Make sure you go to your district because times and locations can vary depending on the district.
Well, we're in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic and the country's in a state of emergency.
But how and when did this all start? I'll explain when we come back.
Welcome back. Right now, we're in uncharted territory as the future and impact of this virus remains unknown. So much has happened regarding COVID-19 in such a short period.
Yeah, as we were all excited about ringing in 2020, not only a new year, but a new decade. In China, health officials noticed something strange regarding less than 200 patients. That was 78 days ago, and now we're in the middle of a pandemic. was New Year's Eve when Chinese health officials notified the World Health Organization about something peculiar. A patient was showing signs of pneumonia, but the symptoms were different. Something seemed new. A week later, China and the WHO confirmed a new virus belonging to the coronavirus family. 2 days later, on January 9th, a 61-year-old man died from this new virus. Cases increased by the hundreds. It was spreading outside the country. Disneyland in Shanghai shut down. Lunar New Year celebrations were canceled. The fast spread even forced the city of Wuhan, the origin of the virus, to go on lockdown. By the end of January, the White House banned entry to the U.S. by most foreign nationals who had traveled to China. But the novel virus was on the move elsewhere. On January 31st, Russia, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom each announced their first cases of the virus. The same day, the WHO declared a global emergency. As the calendar changed to February, new cases in other countries were confirmed. Australia, Canada, Germany, Japan, and Singapore were just a few. Meantime, new cases were being reported in the U.S., including Los Angeles. On February 5th, the U.S. chartered a plane to evacuate U.S. citizens in Wuhan. 3 days later, the first U.S. citizen died of the virus in Wuhan. On February 11th, the death toll topped 1,000. The same day, the WHO named the new virus COVID-19. The next day, 175 people traveling on the Diamond Princess cruise ship tested positive for coronavirus. The U.S. evacuated the American citizens on board. On February 19th, Iran reported its first case of the virus. Hours later, the country announced 2 people died. 2 days later, Italy reported 2 people died. On February 24th, the U.S. stock market tanked for the first time. The Dow Jones dropping more than 1,000 points. 2 days later, California announced the first case with no clear source of exposure.
This is a fluid situation at this time, and I want to emphasize that the risk to the general public remains low.
It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
On February 29th, the U.S. saw its first death to COVID-19. The man was from Washington and in his 50s.
This is probably the tip of the iceberg. There's probably other patients who are getting this disease who are more mildly affected.
On March 6th, Vice President Pence announced 21 people on board the Grand Princess cruise ship off the coast of California tested positive for the coronavirus.
We are stuck in our rooms, but we are able to go out on the balcony.
The cruise ship quickly became a symbol of the virus.
It is our duty to help these people. The friends and families on board this ship.
By March 7th, 100,000 people were infected with coronavirus worldwide. The next day, the U.S. confirmed it had 500 cases.
This is literally a matter of life and death.
And the first cases of COVID-19 were reported in the Central Valley.
We're seeing a lot of action and a lot of fear right now because we're dealing with some unknowns.
On March 11th, the WHO declared COVID-19 as a pandemic, changing the way the world thought about the deadly virus.
We're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction.
At this point, 126,000 people worldwide were infected with the virus. 4,600 people died. Tulare County also reported its first case of the virus. But the big shock came last Thursday, March 12th. The virus was spreading faster, especially in the U.S., and extreme measures were being taken.
Say no large crowds, no long trips, and above all, don't get on a cruise ship.
Professional sports were suspending seasons. Disneyland and Universal Studios announced it would shut down for the remainder of the month. Governor Newsom announced statewide recommendations and executive orders that impacted all counties, including Kern, which had no confirmed cases. BC and CSUB announced major changes.
I'd definitely say I'm pretty scared.
Classes were moved to online.
Today we have announced that CSUB will immediately transition to what we are calling alternative delivery of our coursework from this day until the end of the semester.
Over the weekend, long lines formed as people prepared for the worst.
And I'm in line since like 6:20 this morning, hoping to get toilet paper and paper towel.
On Sunday, March 15th, churches across Kern County shut down for service.
And so there will be no masses after today for the next 2 weeks.
Some churches turned to the internet, live streaming their services or posting messages on YouTube.
This may be our new normal for a little while, and we're kind of working through it and seeing how things go.
Later that day, local school districts announced they were closing for nearly a month amid concerns.
It's a minute-by-minute flow of information, and we are responding as quickly as possible.
It took 66 days to get to 100,000 cases worldwide. It's been less than 2 weeks since, and this morning we've learned that it has now reached 200,000 cases. So you can see how fast this is spreading across not only the U.S., it's still spreading across the world.
Yeah, we talk about flattening the curve. Everyone's
Exactly.
heard that a lot recently. We kind of explained it a little more in depth yesterday morning on 17 News at Sunrise. But as we look at that curve, it is not yet beginning to flatten. So that's what health officials are watching. They're kind of watching, are the cases still spiking every day, getting more? Are they starting to go down? So that's what we'll continue to watch amidst this pandemic.
All right, well, still to come, Peru closed its borders this week to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
What the decision means for all Americans now stuck there. Welcome back here at 527. People in need of coronavirus testing will now have one more option in Kern County. The new site is at the Accelerated Urgent Care on Coffee Road and Stockdale Highway. The medical center will put up 2 big tents in front of the building. At the first tent, patients who want to get tested will first be evaluated to see if they meet criteria.
So we're going to look for cough. We're going to look for fever. We're going to look for respiratory symptoms. We're going to ask about a history of people that have COVID-19 and you've been exposed to them, and if you've been traveling to endemic areas. Those are the main 5 points. So usually we're going to look for 3 out of the 5, or if you've been exposed to COVID-19, a positive confirmed test, we're going to pull you in and test you. So that exposure supersedes the other criteria. But you have to have about 2 or 3 out of the 5. Then we'll send you over to the COVID testing site.
If you don't meet the criteria, you'll be sent next door to the urgent care facility. Patients who make it to the second tent will be given a wristband, a number, and asked to wait in their car for a doctor. Here's a list of the other locations in Kern County doing testing. Priority urgent care, Omni Health, and all local hospitals.